In December, Uber gave AI coding agents to 5,000 engineers. By April, 4 months into the year, the company had burned through its entire annual AI budget. Not 80% of it, all of it. And Uber is not alone. Right now, some of the most sophisticated companies on Earth are slamming the brakes on AI spending. Tesla just capped it. Meta just capped it. Microsoft started canceling licenses. In the next 8 minutes, I'll show you exactly why, and why it might be the most important story in tech that almost nobody is explaining clearly. Let's start with the paradox, because it's genuinely strange. The price of AI is collapsing. Between early 2025 and early 2026, the blended cost of 1 million tokens fell from about $18.40 to just $6. That's a 67% drop in a single year. So AI got dramatically cheaper. And yet, enterprise AI bills didn't fall. They tripled. Across billions of tracked API calls, from January 2025 to April 2026, total spending grew almost 500%. How can prices crash and bills explode at the same time? The answer is volume. In that same window, the number of tokens businesses consumed grew by over 1,000%. Prices fell by 2/3, but usage grew 11-fold. When consumption outruns price cuts by that much, the bill goes up no matter how cheap each token gets. And the single biggest driver of that consumption has a name: AI agents. So what's the difference between an AI agent and a regular chatbot? When you chat with an AI, you send a message, it sends one back. One round trip. A few thousand tokens. Simple, cheap, predictable. An agent is a completely different beast. You give it a goal, and it works toward that goal in a loop. It thinks, it calls a tool, it reads the result, it thinks again, it calls another tool. A single task can be dozens of these steps chained together. And here's the killer detail. On every single step, the agent resends its entire history. All the previous thinking, every tool result, the whole growing context, gets shipped back to the model again and again. Step 1 is cheap, but by step 20, you're paying to reprocess everything that came before it over and over. The cost doesn't add up. It compounds. The result is staggering. Industry analysis shows an agent uses somewhere between 5 and 30 times more tokens per task than a chatbot. Some measurements put heavy agents at 50 to 100 times more. So even as the price per token falls, the number of tokens per task explodes. Put it in dollars. Back in 2023, a simple AI workflow cost about 4 cents per interaction. Today, a full agentic interaction with tools, reasoning, and loops runs around $1.20. That's roughly 30 times more expensive per action, even though each token is far cheaper than it used to be. Now multiply that by scale. One agent task might only cost $1, but give agents to 5,000 engineers who each run hundreds of tasks a day, running 24/7, and $1 per task becomes millions of dollars per month, fast. Which brings us to the companies that hit the wall. Uber is the clearest example. In December 2025, it rolled out AI coding agents to around 5,000 engineers. By February, usage had nearly doubled. By March, 84% of its developers were classified as heavy agentic users. By April, the annual budget was gone, and Uber imposed strict monthly spending caps. Then there's Microsoft, which is fascinating because Microsoft is deeply invested in AI. Yet internally, it began canceling most of its own AI coding licenses, citing token bills that were simply unsustainable at scale. When the company selling the shovels reins in its own miners, you know the economics are real. Tesla drew a hard line. As of July 6th, this week, it capped employee AI spending at $200 per week, per person. And Meta, whose internal AI costs were reportedly approaching the billions, moved to cap its internal token spending too. This is not one struggling startup. This is the frontier of the industry, all hitting the same wall in the same few months. So why did everyone get caught off guard at the same time? Because of a mindset that took over in 2025. Call it tokenmaxxing. The belief that more AI usage automatically means more productivity, so you should let people consume as much as possible and the returns will follow. For a while, that story held, because AI was subsidized, budgets were loose, and nobody was really watching the meter. Agents ran wild, retrying, overthinking, exploring dead ends, all of it billable. The productivity gains were real, but so was an enormous amount of pure waste, and nobody was measuring the difference. Then the invoices arrived. and the correction has been brutally fast. The clearest sign is in the finance departments. In 2025, about 31% of financial operations teams were responsible for managing AI spend. In 2026, that number is 98%. Almost overnight, AI went from an experiment to a line item somebody has to defend. The whole conversation has shifted from how much can we use to what did we actually get for it. Companies are now demanding return on investment per token. They're tracking cost per task, cost per resolved ticket, cost per shipped feature. The era of unlimited AI is quietly ending, and an era of AI accountability is beginning. Now, here's the part most hot takes get wrong. This is not the AI bubble bursting. Agents are not a failure. The companies capping spending are not abandoning AI. They're doing the opposite. They're taking it seriously enough to manage it like any other expensive, powerful resource. Think about what happened with cloud computing 15 years ago. Everyone moved to the cloud, bills spiraled out of control, and an entire discipline, cloud cost management, was born to tame them. Nobody concluded the cloud was a fad. They just learned to run it responsibly. AI agents are living through that exact same growing pain, only compressed into months instead of years. So what does this mean for you, whether you're a developer, a founder, or just AI curious? First, the winners of the next phase won't be whoever uses the most AI. They'll be whoever gets the most value per token. Efficiency is about to become a genuine competitive advantage. Second, this is genuinely good news for smaller players. When a giant like Uber has to ration AI, a lean startup that designs efficient agents from day one can punch far above its weight. Cost discipline, which used to be a constraint, is quietly becoming a moat. Third, watch the model makers. The pressure is now on to make agents that do more with fewer tokens, smarter caching, shorter reasoning, cheaper intermediate steps. The next wave of AI progress may not be about raw intelligence at all. It may be about efficiency, doing the same work for a tenth of the cost. Here's my take. The token binge of 2025 was a necessary phase. You have to overuse a new technology to find out where the value actually is. But the correction happening right now is healthy. It's the sound of AI growing up from a shiny toy you play with into an industrial input you account for. The companies that learn to measure it, tame it, and extract real value per token will define the next decade. The ones still token maxing on borrowed budgets will not. The age of unlimited AI is over. The age of AI that has to earn its keep has just begun. If this helped you understand a story you've probably seen headlines about, but nobody explained, subscribe. I break down the biggest shifts in AI and tech in plain English, no hype. And tell me in the comments, has AI actually made you more productive, or does it just feel that way? I read every one. See you in the next video.